Okay, so we're gonna start with a new project. So we're in Premiere, we're gonna hit our new project button, and we're gonna call this Premiere Practice. We're gonna go over a few different things within this today. So we're gonna navigate, go ahead and find the girl holding the cell phone, and we're gonna import that. We're gonna add another video later, but we're gonna start out first just with the girl holding the cell phone. So go ahead and grab that. This is just a little clip from a stock video website. So we're gonna do a few things today. We're gonna go over the chroma key or the ultra key in Premiere with the green screen. We're gonna add some text to start off, and then we're gonna add some blur and a transition. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're actually gonna go in and we're gonna add our safe zones. The bottom of our program panel, there's a little plus. We're gonna go ahead and click on the button editor, which is gonna take us into all the buttons that are available to us to add to our bar. And what we're looking for, you can hover over top of them and it'll tell you which is what. We're looking for this one, which is our safe margins. We're gonna grab a hold of that and we're just gonna drag it down to our bar and we're gonna click OK. Just to take note also, if you needed to reset this or wanted to get rid of it, you could just hit this and it would go back to default. So we've added our safe margins, and now by clicking on it over our video so you can kind of get an idea of what we're working with. So this is so that we can see where our title safe area is. So that will help us when we're working with our text. So what we're gonna do now is we are going to go and we're gonna grab our type tool right here. So go ahead and grab that. And we're gonna go ahead and we're going to make a text box. And then I'm gonna go and I'm gonna type 3 lines. It's gonna say, check this out. I'm gonna do it in all caps. With an exclamation mark. And then we're gonna edit the text a little bit. So I'm gonna highlight the text and I'm gonna pull up my properties and adjust my text. So as a reminder, all your panels can be found under the window menu, just like in Photoshop. If they have a check mark, they're already open somewhere, as you see this one is. But if you can't find it and you're looking for it, you can just go there and it'll help you. But we can see that it's right here if I click on it. Okay, so now I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna choose a different font. Go ahead and pick the one that you like the most. Let me see what neon. And so I'm gonna play around with my text a little here, and everybody's will look a little different. I'm gonna make it larger. I'm gonna change this. Let's go with our neon theme here. And then let me add a little maybe gray stroke around it. Make it look more neon. Okay, and a little shadow. Okay. So now that I've got this here and I'm kind of keeping it inside my safe margin, so you can see here my safe zone. And what I'm now gonna do is I'm gonna make it so that my text will move down the screen. So to do this, I'm gonna need to pull up my effects controls. Again, I could go to the window and select it here. I do see that it's already open. But it was just, if you can't find it, most likely it's here. If you click on the double arrows, there's a menu and it's probably either there or over here. But if it's easier for you just to go to window and click on it again to make it present, you can do that. Okay, so now we still have our text selected. You can see that in our sequence panel, you can see that our text is reflected by this little effects here, and it's actually it's represented as video 2 track, as you can see. Okay, so this is what we're working with right now. So if we go into our effects controls up here, we're going to be changing the position. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna click on the little clock, and that's gonna pull up our position Y and X number, and then this is gonna be add or remove a keyframe. As we want the text to move, I'm gonna go ahead and move to another part in the video. Then I'm gonna add a keyframe, and I'm gonna go ahead and move my text like so. And then I'm gonna go ahead and go a little bit further. And I'm gonna add another keyframe, and I'm gonna move my text to where I would like it to be. Whoops, I wanted to go this way. And that's where I'm gonna stop my text. So if we go back and preview it, oops, this one moved. I deleted that first keyframe, so I'm just gonna go back up and fix it. And you could actually be typing numbers in here instead of, if you notice, I'm hovering over the numbers and I'm scrolling right or left with my mouse. You could actually type numbers here, especially if on the test they would give you the number. Okay, now let's preview it. Okay, so you can see I have 3 keyframes of one at the beginning, one right here, and then one at the end, and then it's gonna stay there for the rest of the video. Okay, so that is our little text animation we've just created. So we're gonna go ahead and click on our effects panel. We're gonna select the video 1 track down here, and in our effects panel we're gonna type in Ultra key, and we're gonna see it then show up. We're gonna grab a hold of it, we're gonna drag it, and we're gonna drop it down onto that track, and you're gonna see it represented by the little effects here. If you hover over the little effects, it will tell you what effect is on it. Just like if we hover over this, it will tell us that it's motion and text, and this one we now see has the Ultra key. Okay, so now after you do apply the effects, now you go over to the effects control panel, so that's kind of consistent. We apply the effect and then we edit the effect with the effect controls panel. So we're gonna go back over here to the one we had used to control our movement of our text, and we're gonna go down till we find the Ultra key. Okay, so here's our Ultra key, and we're gonna click on the little eyedropper, and we're actually gonna then click inside the green to sample the color, and when we click, you're gonna see that it shows up here in it'll show us which color that we're going to be keying out or removing, and it will then be represented in black. Now, if you had something that had shadows, you could change this drop down right here from default to aggressive or relaxed or custom, depending on what was happening. And you can also clean up the green screen effect using the matte cleanup down here. Okay, so we have eliminated the green screen, and now I'm gonna shift this video track up to 3 and this video track to 2 very easily, and then I'm gonna bring in another clip that's gonna go right on the screen into the video 1 area. So you can choose something from your cell phone or something from the internet. I'm just gonna go ahead and use a clip of Tiki I have from the beach. So I'm gonna grab that and just drag and drop it in. Tiki snoring. Okay, so I'm gonna drop it down here. I'm gonna move it over to the beginning. Okay, now you will see here that I have some audio with it. So there is audio, and I'm gonna right click on my video, and I'm gonna scroll down. There's a lot of stuff under the right click. So if you ever can't find something and you're looking like to fit to frame or like make a clip faster or slow it down, it's all under here. What I'm looking for is I'm gonna unlink them, and I am gonna just delete that audio and just hit the delete key on that. Okay, so here now you can kind of see that you can see my clip that I brought in sticking out. It is a different size clip. It is a vertical clip as well. So now what I'm gonna do is I am actually gonna make sure I have the video one selected, and now I'm gonna go and adjust the position as I did when I was doing the text, but in this case I'm gonna kind of position it so you can see Tiki on the beach a little bit better. And I also might change the scale a little bit. I'm not sure yet, so give me a minute to work on that and you can do the same for yours. So we're back. So basically I did change the scale a little bit, and I did work with the position. I added 4 keyframes at different spots throughout. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my stock video and I'm just gonna shorten it to a little bit longer than my clip of Tiki running around, just a tiny bit. And now let's see here, I'm gonna move my keyframe to 10. Let's see, I'm gonna actually type it in so it's perfectly on the 10-second mark. So at the perfect 10-second mark, I'm gonna go ahead right here and I'm gonna add a marker. And just to show us how to do this, I'm going to double click on the marker and I'm going to title the marker. This is where the blur, I'm going to put insert blur just for practice. I'm typing in caps, but you don't have to. And here I'm going to change the marker color as well. And you can control how long you would want this effect for. So let's see, I'm going to put 5 seconds. And then I guess that's going to take us a little off page, but that's fine. Now I'm going to go up to our effects panel and I'm going to type in blur, and I'm going to actually add the Gaussian blur. So I'm going to find Gaussian blur. I'm going to grab a hold of it, drag it down to our stock image video, add it to there, and now it's going to tell us when we hover over the FX that we have the Gaussian blur and the Ultra Key effect added. And now I'm gonna come over to my effects controls again, and I'm gonna whoops, I didn't mean to do that. Whoops, let me step back. I just did Control or Command Z to step back, just like in Photoshop. So I am looking for the Gaussian blur. So that's gonna be right here. And I'm gonna control the amount. So right here, I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna click and add a keyframe. Oops. When you click on it the first time, it adds the keyframe. So I've been deleting it. So always make sure you don't delete it. And the percentage I'm gonna do like 60%. At that point, I'm gonna go back and test it. Okay, I see my mistake. I did it for the whole thing. So I'm gonna go at the beginning, add a keyframe, and have that be at 0. Okay, let me try that now. Okay. Okay, so I did that with, this is the ripple edit tool, so I just pushed it back a little bit. And I'm I'm still not totally happy with all of that blur. I think I'm just going to change the amount of blur to make it a little less. Okay, not perfect, but I think you got to practice a few things, so I think that'll be beneficial. Okay, now we're gonna save it, we're gonna export it. So we're gonna do File, Export, Media. We're gonna go ahead and for our file name, we're gonna just call this Practice. And our format, we're gonna do MP4, and then we're gonna go ahead and export.